I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, January the 4th, brought to you in part by Kansas Regenerative Medical Center. Kansas RMC's focus is on arthritis and orthopedic issues for your joints, back, and neck. They've been doing this for 10 years. They know who they can help. If you've got some problems like that, and 60% of their patients are farmers and ranchers, so I know a lot of you do. If you've got some problems with that, check them out, see if they can help you. Go to kansasrmc.com. Beaver County Stockyards is going to have another big sale here on Tuesday. Got 4,200 head. Be a nice run, lighter run of calves, 300 to 400 calves. They'll be weighing from 400 to 600 pounds and only about half of them weaned, but have from 3,000 to 3,500 yearlings in the barn there, and 1,000 yearling heifers, probably 1,400 yearling steers weighing from 7 to 1,000 pounds there. Be another 1,000, 1,100 head of mixed yearlings. A lot of those will be the turnout kind, guys. If you're still looking for those, they've got some really nice consignments in those load lots of yearlings. They got Buckingham cattle there, they got the Radcliffe cattle there. Be a really nice offering. Cow sale is going to be pretty much same type of a light run there that they normally have, but they are going to have a handful of older pairs if you're interested in that. But a real nice sale here on Tuesday at Beaver County Stockyards, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning all summer, guys. They like to get it done too. And don't forget about June 18th, the Feeder Flash Beaver Clash special, yearling special there. That'll be the only yearlings in the country probably that week there, coming off the end of the graze out period there. But check that out if you're looking for a place to sell some yearlings about that time at Beaver County Stockyards. Now I want to talk about another stockyard, which is Joplin. It's the biggest. Joplin is versatile. I was looking for something to talk about here for our Tuesday feeder flash, and it's staring me right in the face. Who the hell else is going to have 13,600 head of feeder cattle on a Monday in June, in early June, guys? It's just unbelievable. They just keep growing. They're the biggest and they keep growing. They're of course they're dominant in the 4-state area there and beyond. They're just typically getting cattle within 200 miles of them. I wouldn't want to be running a sale barn within 500 miles of them, guys. Especially with their videos. They have primetime livestock videos. They're going to have a huge video sale coming up on July the 2nd. And there ain't no telling how big that thing's going to be. It's going to be one of the biggest. There's a lot of 4th of July videos or around the 4th there. Going to be one of the biggest that they have. It's just unbelievable how dominant they have become. And you can say what you want. You either love them or you hate them. But you got to respect them. And you got to be impressed at what they're doing. I tell you what, Jackie has not slowed down at all. Jackie Moore there, and then both of his boys come of age, Skylar and Bailey. They're just as aggressive as he is, and I tell you what, together it's just unbelievable. And I still will say they can have 13 or 14, or like they did in February, have over 15,000 head of cattle, and they can tell you whose cattle they are when the first one hits the gate before they see the mail, because they're paying attention, they know their customers. But the main reason that they can be that big is that fescue grass. Tell you what, I lived in Missouri for over 15 years, and I heard people cuss the fescue. Those people never lived somewhere where there's no grass. Fescue is fantastic. It grows. It's cool season grass, and it grows, and yes, it's got some endophytes in it. You got to learn how to work around those. You got to clip those pastures And right now you're saying, man, how can those people pull those cattle off grass? Most all the cattle are coming off grass. I'll tell you what, the Moors are talking to those people about the market, and they're saying, hey, look at this market that's staring you in the face. Pull them cattle off grass. I'll tell you what, if you know, they'll make hay out of that grass, and they'll background more cattle this winter. It's you know, that's the whole deal. And of course, it sits right in the middle of the country there, but it's that fescue that allows Joplin to get as big as they are, to have as many backgrounders as they have there, you know, within, like I say, a couple of 100 miles radius of them. But it's just very impressive. I'm going to give you a rundown on their market later on here in a feeder flash, but it's likely to be pretty slow here in all of our sales from now on till after the 4th of July. They're just, you know, this is the best time in cattle's life for the most part. It's when they're turned out on grass, whether they're grazing yearlings or whether they're calves on the mama. You know, they're just enjoying the weather, they're enjoying the green grass. Cattle were meant to graze grass. They're enjoying it, and it's going to be pretty slow. I'm going to have to scrape to come up with quotes here for the next few weeks until we get towards the middle of July, and we start seeing some double stock cattle coming off those big grazing areas in the Flint Hills and the Osage. But look at the board to start the week at, oh, it wasn't terrible, but it's a little frustrating when your June live cattle are up 47 cents and they close at a $7 basis to what the cash fat cattle market is. And we're well within the spot month. And I tell you what, that futures market is so frustrating. And you think, well, they're willing to change it. What could they do? They need to do something for the longs, guys. Just enable people, your long positions, to demand delivery. Now, you're sitting here in June. I know there's packers, some regional packers, small packers, that would buy that board if they could buy cattle at 182. They settled at 182.02 on Monday afternoon. They would buy that board. That would support it. That would make it go up as they get in there to do that. They will not do that. They've set that whole deal up for the shorts, which there's so many outfits that are shorting it that now it's not reliable anymore. And it's just a frustrating thing. And CME acts like they want to do something. They don't want to do shit, because if they do, they would have already done it. I've known of several groups that's approached them about doing something for the long side, and they're not. And you know, it has to have an equal opposite reaction there. If you've got everything set up for the shorts, you know, how are you going to entice any longs to get in it? And then you're speculatively their longs on that side. You know, if they know that we got basis jumpers, and you know, even though our feeders are bringing what they're bringing, which has absolutely nothing to do with the fat cattle market, but our supplies are extremely tight, and your cattle sellers ought to be in the driver's seat, but nobody's selling in a negotiated manner, so we can't gain any ground here when we should be gaining ground. You say we're at all-time record highs. I don't care. The market deserves to go higher yet. And now we're looking at it where you look at any month out front and it's lower than where we're at on cash right now. It's just a frustrating deal. August live cattle up 42 cents at 178.87. Your back month's down 27 cents to up 12. Feeder cattle for August down 20 at 256.20. Now, I'm not complaining so much about it because it's way out in front. Of course, you know, we got 2 bastard months here with no contract in it, so it's a long ways out there. And yes, it should be a premium to what we're trading right now, and it's trading at a $6 premium, you know, to what our index levels are. So you know, we can't really complain about that. And that thing is going to go up and down and back and forth, you know, 27 times between now in the middle of August when it has to start paying attention. But September feeder cattle down 25 cents at 257.87. Your back months down 12 to up 55 cents. Look at your grain futures. July was down 1 3/4 cent at 441 3/4. Beans up 3 cents at 11.87.5. Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 2 3/4 cent at 6.97 1/4 a bushel. Your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade out of the 5 area feeding region totaled 59,300 compared to 56,500 the previous week and 79,400 the same week a year ago, which was pretty good movement a year ago. Live prices in the 5 area last week ranged from 183 to 193.50, or 183 to 193, and that was from 50 cents to $2 lower. Your weighted average was 188.91, down $1.18 from the previous week's all-time record high weighted average live price for steers. Dress sales from 298 to 309, but realistically it was 298 to 304, which was really steady to $1 lower. But your weighted average on dress steers was $300.81. That was down $268. Nationwide, we sold, or as a whole, your Southern Plains market was $1 lower at 186. Northern Plains was $2 lower from 188 to 192. Dress sales were $2 to $3 lower from $3 to 301. Nationwide, we sold 73,400 negotiated last week compared to 67,900 the previous week and 93,000 the same week a year ago. Of the 73,400, about 27% of those were for the 2 to 4 week delivery. Negotiated grid sales totaled 44,000 last week. Forward contracting sales were 19,900 last week, and formula sales were pretty light. Actually, there was a light movement altogether last week because formula sales last week only totaled 231,800, and you think, geez, that's big. Well, the previous week it was 274,300, and the same week the year before was 240,700. So fairly light movement last week. Packers are bound to be short bought in these tight supplies. Box beef cutout values were higher on Monday. Choice cuts up 240 at 315.60. Selects up 199 at 303.70. Your slaughter 120,000 to start the week. Didn't have anything the previous week because of Memorial Day. It's exactly the same as they had a year ago. This week was 120,000. Talk about what else is going on. Specialty Risk Insurance. Specialty Risk is here to help cattlemen manage price risk one calf at a time. Check out their website at specialtyrisk.ag. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction late in the day on Monday sitting at 248.93. That was up 18 cents. CME cash feeder cattle index, the latest available, finally caught up with those high prices at 250.77. Now it's got to dip back down. But look at your big sales, and like I started the report out with, Joplin Regional Stockyards in Carthage, Missouri had 13,600 head of cattle. You look at these pictures that Mark Harmon there sent me, and he does a little bit of everything for Joplin Regional Stockyards, including putting out the Cattleman's News every month. But he's their PR person, and he sent me these pictures. This first one, though, that is people or truckers waiting to unload their cattle early in the afternoon. Luckily, it rained, so it wasn't all that hot, so it wasn't tough on the cattle that were coming in late and the ones that are leaving early. So that was a godsend there for them. But these are the trucks that are waiting to unload late morning, early afternoon. These are the trucks that are waiting to load at that time. And then probably 10 or 11, 12,000 cattle in between there somewhere. Unbelievable, people. They ran 13,600 through that ring in 17 hours. You wonder why they start at 4 o'clock in the morning. But compared to 2 weeks ago, the feeder steers were $3 to $7 higher. Feeder heifers were $2 to $8 higher. Calves were a little bit cheaper. A lot of soft calves in there, and they were steady to $7 lower. You look at this National BeefWire stick-out sale of the day. You look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central. This is what the market is in the lower Midwest, guys. This is the market out of there. You look how many well-tested weights. They're from 400 to 1,000 pounds. Look at your steers. 787 head of 4-weight steer calves. Where are you going to find that? They average 453 with a weighted average price of $319.88. They had 72 head in one deal, weighed 438, bring 345. Like I'm telling you, they have the best cattle there. They've got commodity cattle there. There's where you go to market all of them, guys. 1,775 head of 5-weight steer calves, average 551 at $298.49 on the weighted average price. On that many of them, weighing over 5.5. 1,612 head of 6-weight steers in Joplin, average 642 at $277.12. 878 head of 7-weight steers, average 739 at $256.61. There were 1,643 head of 8-weight steers in Joplin Regional Stockyards. They averaged 844 with a weighted average price of $242.05. There was 248 in one draft, weighed 850 pounds on the butt and bring $251. There were 631 head of 9-weight steers, average 923 at $233.03 on the average. There was 115 head in one drag, weighed 917 at $243.10. How about the heifers? 1,012 head of 4-weight heifer calves. Where are you going to find that? They average 462 at $293.67. 1,365 head of 5-weight heifers, average 548 at $271.24. 692 head of 6-weight heifers, average 636 and bring $248.78 on the average. There were 1,459 head of 7-weight heifers in Joplin. They averaged 744 with a weighted average price of $237.37. There was 227 of those in one whack, weighed 736 at $253. Wow. 407 head of 8-weight heifers in Joplin, averaged $853 with a weighted average price of $216.27. Pretty impressive sale there, guys, especially for the date on the calendar. It's just impressive that they're that versatile, that they can the market's good, bring those cattle in, and they can get that many of them pulled in at once. Talked to my friend Eric Weaver out there, Meridian, Mississippi, at the sale barn in Meridian, Mississippi. He sold 2 loads of steers, home-raised steers, 126 head of them, weighed 812 and bring 247.25 standing in the ring in Meridian, Mississippi. How about Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City? They underestimated. They had a bigger run than they were expecting to. Had 7,200, which is very respectable for this date. And the market was good. Feeder steers steady to $3 higher. Steer and heifer calves $3 to $7 higher. Feeder heifers $1 to $3 lower, but they kind of had a hot heifer market 2 weeks ago, the last time they had a sale there. Give you some individual quotes from around. I heard from my buddy Dwayne Penny, used to be at St. Joe Stockyards, said at Tina Livestock in Tina, Missouri, northwest Missouri there, Doug Nally from Pattonsburg, Missouri, which is close to where I used to live, sold 75 steers, weighed 727 and bring $279.75. Thought that was pretty impressive. How about a market way out west, Cattleman's Livestock in Galt, California? They are lending their market information to us through Cattle Market Central, and they're getting talked about on the feeder flash. 92 steers in Galt, California weighed 739 and bring 285. Wow. How about the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday? It was your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day. Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri, right in the center of the state. 69 steer calves weighed 487, nearly 5, and bring 358. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.